We begin with a major return here in the Bronx. Summer doesn't really get rolling until the Cruz brothers say that it does. Hoops in the Sun is back at Orchard Beach, and Father's Day weekend was a glorious opportunity to usher in year number 22 in the BX. We highlighted the Cruz brothers right here on BronxNet the last 2 weeks. Opening weekend included the unveiling of their new mural project on the Joe Pops Cruz Senior Memorial Courts. Father's Day always a tribute to the brothers' dad, the late founder of the community basketball tournament. Local dignitaries and other luminaries, including BronxNet Executive Director Michael Max Nobby, presided over the grand opening of the Mount Everest of streetball in the Bronx. With that said, our BronxNet Player of the Week goes to the Cruz brothers, or should I say, co-players of the week, for providing youth here in the Bronx with the pilgrimage that is hits. The league has given youngsters an alternative to the streets for over 2 decades, and at the same time has become a factory for both college and pro talent from overseas to the NBA. New York City stars like Kenny Satterfield, Kimball Walker, and the Knicks' Obi Toppin. The list just keeps growing summer after summer. Hits headlines here on 5 on 5 at number 5. In at 4, a New York basketball legend is calling it a career. WNBA megastar Sue Bird, the league's all-time assist leader, will retire at the end of the 2022 season. The 41-year-old posted the announcement on her social media. The 12-time All-Star and 8-time All-WNBA selection had previously considered retiring at the end of the 2021 campaign, but this past offseason she signed a 1-year deal with the Seattle Storm, where she has spent her entire 21-year WNBA career. Here's more with the former UConn star out of Syosset, New York.
It wasn't about the game. It wasn't about how I played. It was just really about soaking it all in, enjoying the moment, knowing there are people here that, you know, like I've said to everybody already, but knowing that there are people here that have been so instrumental in my journey to get to where I'm sitting right now. It was really about that. You know, and then of course, once the ball gets tipped, you play to win. I would have taken the win, even if I had 0 points, 0 assists, 10 turnovers, I would have been thrilled. It wouldn't have mattered. The fact that, I hit that last shot is almost, it just can put a smile on I know on my face, and I think it could put a smile on everybody's face.
Bird's final professional basket in her childhood home of New York rimmed around, bounced up, and fell through to put a definitive end to the Seattle Storm's 81-72 win over the New York Liberty last Sunday. Afterward, in her post-game interview with ESPN, the legend trolled Brooklyn fans at the Barclays Center, saying, "Bing bong," in reference to the New York Knicks' rallying cry. A real legend. And how about a hand for a friend of our show, moving up in the broadcasting ranks, another voice out of the Bronx, courtesy of Fordham University and WFUV, and that's Justin Shackle. With John Sterling skipping some Yankee games in the second half of the season to keep himself fresh, WFAN will use fill-in broadcasters at least for 25 games. That has opened up an opportunity for Justin to step in. Shackle got the call for games in Toronto this past week, broadcasting the 17th, 18th, and the 19th for the Yankees. He regularly serves as a digital reporter for the team and also contributes to John Boy Media. Talk about living a dream. Congrats to Justin Shackle. And I love his tweet, too, an ode to the great voice of the Yankees, Mel Allen. How about that? Speaking of how about that, the Yankees keep rolling with the best record in Major League Baseball after taking 2 of 3 last weekend in Canada. The Bombers and the Mets share the 2 spot here on the front end of 5 on 5, especially with both managing the best marks in their respective leagues. Yanks sport the best record in the American League, not just baseball. The Mets won 2 out of 3 last weekend and have the best record in the National League. That story, that narrative just keeps rolling here as hopefully, we could see a Subway Series this October. With the Pinstripers touring Toronto, this Bronx boy was making Montreal and Quebec, Canada, his playground last weekend as Formula One took center stage there for the first time since the pandemic. What a magnificent circuit that is. We got a tour of the track and an insider look at the new 2022 Formula One cars. A thing of beauty right there. Check this out. As for the action on the track, reigning champion Max Verstappen kept his cool and completed a nice Sunday drive as Red Bull was just a bit stronger than the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz Jr. Carlos pushed, but Supermax held him off Lewis Hamilton had the best finish of his season, capturing third place to join Max and Carlos on the podium. He was followed by his teammate at Mercedes, George Russell, who finished fourth. The sights, sounds, and thrills of Formula One appropriately take the one spot here on 5 on 5. We shift gears and look ahead here on the back end of 5 on 5. At number 1, NFL camps are in swing with the season just a couple of months away. These mini camps give teams like the New York Giants and the Jets a chance to regroup and prepare for the upcoming season. Out at Jets camp, up-and-coming signal caller Zach Wilson is pumped.
It hasn't felt much different really from OTAs. I know E was a little banged up last week, but we've had a majority of the time. So, those guys have done a really good job. You can see the improvement that they've made overall. And then Garrett coming in and, he's getting better every single day as we're going. So I'm excited about the group that we have.
And so are we for the return of football. In the 2 spot, our weekly Judge Report. Although Yankee star Aaron Judge has opted to pass on the Home Run Derby in Los Angeles next month when the All-Star Game arrives at Dodger Stadium, the Judge is living a Home Run Derby weekly here in the Bronx. He now has 25 homers on the season. No one else in the league had more than 18 when he connected on number 25. Coming into the week, he's on pace for 65 dingers in his contract year. That would break the Yankee mark of 61 set by Roger Maris in 1961. It would also put him in the conversation for the single-season MLB record down the stretch of the season. That number remains 73, held by Barry Bonds. In the 3 and 4 spots, a double-double on this date in Bronx sports history. On June 24th, 1936, at Comiskey Park, 21-year-old rookie Joe DiMaggio ties 3 Major League records in New York's 10-run 5th inning against the White Sox, hitting 2 home runs for 8 total bases. With 2 doubles, he equals the modern record of 4 long hits in a game at the time. Joe D becomes the first Yankee and 5th player in Major League history to hit 2 home runs in 1 inning, and that's how the legend of the Yankee Clipper would grow. And on this same date, decades later, more memories here in the Bronx. On June 24th, 1962, a marathon between the Tigers and the Yankees concludes in the 22nd inning when Jack Reed's home run, his only one in the big leagues, gives New York and Jim Bouton a 9-7 win. Reed replaced Joe Pepitone in the 13th inning for Detroit. Phil Regan takes the loss, and Rocky Colavito has 7 hits for the Tigers. Fun fact here, Rocky is from the Bronx. Bobby Richardson ties a mark by going to the plate 11 times in that game at an even 7 hours. The game is the slowest extra inning contest in league history, and it is the longest game in Yankees history, all on this date. We wrap with a look ahead for the 2 baseball clubs this weekend. The Yanks are home to host rival Houston in the Bronx. Meantime, the Mets are in Miami to face the Marlins for a road weekend series in Florida. Those are the headlines to the C-List for a tribute to a Bronx Hoops legend. Lenny Rosenbluth might be before your time, but he should be a name that you never forget in the world of basketball. Lenny led North Carolina to its first basketball NCAA title in 1957 with a victory over all-time legend Wilt Chamberlain at Kansas in that year's championship game. The former Bronx standout sadly passed away last Saturday. He was 89 years old. Born and raised in the Bronx, Rosenbluth joined coach Frank McGuire and the Tar Heels in 1955 and was an All-Atlantic Coast Conference honoree in each of his 3 seasons. His number 10 is one of only 8 jerseys retired by UNC, along with legendary names like Michael Jordan. He averaged 28 points per game in 1957, still the school record, and beat out Chamberlain for the claim to the College Basketball Player of the Year award. That 57 Tar Heels team went a pristine 32-0, capping its run with a triple overtime victory over Chamberlain's Jayhawks. Rosenbluth scored 20 points in that championship game. Rest in peace, Lenny. We do hope that you are hooping in heaven. That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby C.